So once you've opened up Blender, you'll be greeted by this incredibly complex user interface. So before you go, whoa, and start freaking out, just hang in there and just focus on this central window here. And in the center, we have our default object, the cube. So to select any object in Blender, we have to right-click. I know most of you are used to left-clicking things to select something, but in Blender, it's right-click. So remember, to select anything in Blender, we have to right-click. So to select the cube, we right-click. Now, how do you know if you've actually selected an object or not? What Blender does is, it puts an orange border around the object that we have selected. So as you can see, this cube has an orange border, which means at the start it was already selected. So what can we do with a selected object? One thing we can do is actually move it. So to move an object in Blender, we press the G key. G for grab. So we can grab it. So G, and now it'll follow your cursor, and look at that. You can move it anywhere you want. So do keep in mind, if you've accidentally moved in the process of moving it, but you don't want to move it, we can just right click and it'll just go back to the default position. So right click and it's back to the original position, okay? So if you've accidentally moved it and you think, oh no, I don't actually want to move it, right click and it's back to normal, all right? But if you actually want to move it somewhere else, what we do is select the object, press G, and move it to a location that you want, let's say here, and we can left click, and now you have successfully moved the cube. So let's put it back here. Now, another thing we can do is look at objects from different perspectives. So first thing we can do is actually zoom in. How is this done? Well, it's through the power of the scroll wheel. So to have a close-up, we can move our scroll wheel forward to zoom in. Look at that. That's pretty zoomed in. And to zoom out, it's just scroll backwards. And oh dear, it's gone. So scroll back, yay, and it's back. So close up and look at it far away. So you've mastered scrolling now. Another thing that we can do is actually look at it from different angles. Now, what you need to do is actually hold down the scroll wheel and you can just move it around. So we can look at it from bird's eye, all the way on the bottom, and then all these different angles. Just go around, just hold the scroll wheel, and you can just move it around like this and release for an angle or for a position that you like. So release, and you can view it from here now, or here and release, and you're seeing it from the underside. So this is pretty useful if you want to edit things and just view it from different angles. And another thing we can do is actually change the size of our object. So in this case, it's done by pressing the S key, S for scale. So we want to scale up or scale down an object. So make sure the object is selected and press S. And then to make it larger, we move our cursor away from the object. As you can see, it's actually pretty quick, just small movements, and it's just exploded in size. Now, remember what I said about moving last time? So if you don't want to actually scale it this much, you can just right click before you've confirmed, and it's gone back to its default size. So what you just saw there was just it increasing really fast. Most of the time we don't want that, and we just actually want some more control. So before you press S, make sure your cursor is away from the object. So now this is a good distance. So now if we press S and we move our cursor away from the object, it's just gradually increasing, right? It's not exploding in your face, right? Just gradually. And to make the object smaller, we move our cursor towards our object. So look, it's really small, and then boom. Yeah, there you go. So away for larger and towards for smaller. And once again, to confirm your selection, we left click. And finally, I'll show you how to rotate the object. Now, can you guess what hotkey we press for rotate? Oh, very good. It's R for rotate. So we press R, and now we just move our cursor around, and look at that. Go crazy. Just keep rotating this thing. There you go. Rotate it. And if you ever feel like, nope, I actually don't like this cube rotated, and you haven't confirmed your selection, what you can do is right click and you're back. But say if you've actually rotated it like this and you think, ugh, that looks pretty crap. Well, there is one solution, and that's the magic of Control Z. So Control Z, and it's back. So there you go. These are some basic ideas of how to use Blender.